And we are live. So let me start with a fact that should make everyone pause. Y'all should know this, right? The United States has the highest incarceration rate in the world. And Black Americans are arrested, detained, or incarcerated at nearly 5 times the rate of white folks.
At the same time, we are watching ICE agents drag people out of their homes, militarized police operations expanding, and political leaders normalize language that used to live only on the fringe.
That's right, But here is the question that many of you are asking yourselves right now, right? If white supremacy is rising in America and we see far right politics, right, expanding and rising in other countries, where are we actually safer?
Is it safer to stay in the United States, or is it safer to live abroad? Tonight, we're going to talk about the real question. What does safety actually look like for Black people?
That's right.
So we left the United States nearly 4 years ago, and we have been living in Lisbon, Portugal, while traveling the world. Since retiring, we have traveled to dozens of cities on 4 continents and built friendships and communities across the globe, y'all.
We also study history very carefully, all right, including documents like the FBI COINTEL reports that show how Black political organizations were monitored and targeted in the United States for decades. So when we talk about safety, we ain't talking about feelings or vibes. We're talking about structure, you guys. We're talking about history. We're talking about power. So let's do a quick check-in.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick poll in the chat. Type 1 if you feel to stay. If you think it is safer to remain in the United States. Type 2 if you think it would be safer to live abroad, leave the United States. Type 3 if you're unsure, if you're feeling stuck between the two.
And here's tonight's trivia question. If you're watching from the future, hey. If you're watching over on Substack or LinkedIn, hey. We can't see your chat, so join us over here on YouTube. We might be able to do that in the future, but we ain't got it like that right now, right? So what percentage of the world's population lives outside of the United States? A, 30%, B, 60%, or C, 90%? Stick around until the end and we will give you the answer. All right. We are going to get started. Today is Thursday. That's a Thursday short, and it is It is Utopian Legend Thursday. So I think we see somebody behind the scenes. We are talking about, is it actually safer for Black Americans to leave the U.S., y'all? All right. That's what we're talking about. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and life abroad. All right. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan. We help you get your money straight so that you can retire on time, or maybe even abroad.
And early ain't bad either.
Early's not bad. All right, sweetheart. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about, is it actually safer for Black Americans to leave the U.S.? So tonight we're going to talk about 3 things. First, why Black Americans feel afraid to stay and afraid to leave. Second, what real safety actually looks like. And third, we're going to give you a simple 7-day plan that can help you start exploring your options without panic. This is not about fear. This is about clarity and motion.
That's right. But first, if you're new to our channel, you might not know, back in 2018, y'all, Rick and I were getting close to retirement age. We looked at our money and it looked crazy. But we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 over 1.1 million in net worth. And y'all, if we can do that, you can do it too. Okay. So If any of that sounds interesting to you, what do we need you to do? We need you to subscribe. We know half of the folks who are watching are not subscribed. Some of you guys think you subscribed and you ain't. I don't know, maybe some funny business going on, people getting unsubscribed. We trying to get to 100,000 before our 4-year anniversary. Help a brother and sister out.
Yes,
Hit
yes,
that like
yes,
button, that
please.
notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video. And we are going to get started and bring up the only legend who is backstage right now. So we're going to bring her on up. Hey,
Hey,
Antonia.
Antonia.
How you doing?
Hi there. Where is
You're-
everybody at? I don't understand it.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, sweetie?
I said I don't understand it. Of all of these legends, where is everyone at?
We got a lot of legends.
We got a lot of legends.
So it's really interesting.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
y'all take advantage and come on air. All right, so we're going to talk first about the mental trap. Many people are stuck in a very human psychological trap, right? They think, yes, bad things are happening, but bad things are happening over there too,
Yeah,
right? Over there in
everywhere.
Texas, over there in Dubai,
Oh,
over there at the border, over there in Ecuador. But history teaches us something very important, y'all. In the United States, systemic shifts spread. Segregation spreads, redlining spreads, mass incarceration spreads, surveillance of Black activists spreads, right? When governments begin expanding state power, it rarely stays in one place, right?
no.
Yeah, it
It
does.
rarely stays in one place. And so if we think that just because stuff is happening over there and it doesn't seem to affect you, what you think about that, Antonia?
Think again.
Don't talk about Texas. Don't talk about Texas. I'm so disgusted.
I
Especially
I
after
took
last
that.
night.
It was Tuesday night. I took that so personally. Well, I guess they finalized it yesterday. Yeah, I took that so personally, and I know I'm not sure if this is the right answer, but if I lived in Texas, I would withhold my vote. Like I know we need to take back the Senate, but it's like Democrats need to learn. They need to start respecting Black women. They need to start respecting Black women. And I mean, when I saw the initial returns, I was just so upset, right? And that's like you would think that after not voting for the other Black woman who was absolutely right about every single thing that is going on now, that people would get a damn clue and hire the people. Um, I'm running a Substack about this, but it was Representative Presley, Ayanna Presley. She is such a bad sister, boy. She is something else. I just love her, and she did us a real solid. Remember, she came to our DNC
Yes.
thing in that I had when I'm back in the days when I was still part of the party. But she said those closest to pain need to be closest to power. And I like a white man is never going to be closest to pain, ever in the United States, anyway.
No.
Right. And so, right. And so, to me, um, for folks to elect someone who said that a former NFL player, a civil rights attorney, and a former congressperson is a mediocre Black man, and who also takes money from the Adelsons who funded Trump's election. Like that's who they voted for on the Democratic side. That's who they voted for because they didn't think a Black woman can win. Well, she can't win if you don't vote for her.
This is true.
And I think um, that election is indicative of the way the United States is going. It has not yet learned its lesson, Black people. It has not yet learned. It has not felt enough pain.
Nope. They're not angry enough.
They're not angry
Mm-mm.
enough.
You said
They're
it
not
right
angry
there.
enough, and
Yeah.
they're making assumptions that there actually is going to be a 2026 election, free and fair election, because there was some shenanigans going on in the Dallas area.
Yes, there was.
So
Yes, there
that's
was.
you see, that's what we're talking about. They don't necessarily have to do what they did in the Ukraine and just cancel elections. You don't have to do that.
Just interfere.
Just interfere,
Yes.
right? How many people tried to vote for Jasmine but were turned away?
Lots and lots. And then,
So we don't know if she would have lost had it been a free and fair election,
right,
right? And
right.
so if history teaches us anything, it should teach us that systemic nonsense spreads in the United States. All right. It spreads. It ain't going to stay in one place. And if it's not affecting you now, it may be affecting you tomorrow. The next thing is that we want to talk about is like, what does safety really mean? Right.
Safety is not just about racism existing. Racism, it exists everywhere.
Yeah.
The real question is, what does the system do? Does it protect you?
Does the system protect you?
Does it provide health care? Does the system allow you to live without bankruptcy? Or does the system provide legal rights or provide social services? Ooh, that's yeah.
Social
Social
services.
services? Or does it provide public safety?
Or
Does the system police you, criminalize you, exploit your labor, or treat you as a threat? That's the real question.
right?
Treating you as a threat.
Not whether races exist,
No.
but whether the system empowers them. That's the thing, right? And so, like, what does a person need to feel safe? Because I think safety is an illusion. Our friend Adelia Borshade of Picky Girl Travel says that all the time. Safety is an illusion, right? And Dubai was supposed to be the safest place in the Middle East. And then Antonia, your president, acted like
she gonna put him on you.
Your president acted like a zip damn fool.
Well, don't forget, it's A-Lee's president too, ain't it? Hey, A-Lee.
Hey, I have company.
I decided to because y'all talk about that stuff that I was thinking about. I was like, man, I went for Crockett. I was like, Dave, and they gonna try that mess in November.
Yes, they,
Oh,
they
of
are.
course.
They are, right?
It'll probably be worse.
This is
in
just a
November.
preview. This is just a
Yes,
preview.
this was a test. This was a
Exactly.
test.
Exactly.
dad
Just like
asked-
January 6th was a test.
My dad asked if they gonna do the what they gonna do if they rig and get in the house. I said, if they get the house, it's game over for everybody because he's got another 2 years.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. And here's the thing, y'all. The United States as we knew it's gone. Okay. It's gone. Just to let you guys know. It ain't coming back. And if they do enough shenanigans in November, like I'm not sure there's going to be a United States to recover from or to. I mean, I suppose, it'll still exist on a map, but
Right.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think even if they manage to get him out, or get them out, get all of them out, all of the bad actors, it'll take decades.
Oh, yeah.
I really
To
believe that too.
undo.
10 at
Oh,
least.
I think more than 10.
It might not
Decades.
even be within my
It's
lifetime.
not going to be in all of our lifetimes. To fix it, to repair all of the damage.
Yeah,
And even if I don't even know if the damage to our allies can even
exactly.
Yeah.
the trust, I don't even know if that can be fixed.
Repaired.
Well, especially too when you get rid of one idiot and you bring another idiot in to replace the idiot you just got rid of.
Right.
Yeah, which I'm not. We'll see. We'll see. So, Antonia and A Lee, do you feel like you would be safer outside of the United States or within the United States?
Definitely outside. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Nowhere near.
Exactly. I would rather slow mo around the country than to be in here. Very much.
Around the world. Yeah, because we get people in our comments. We're like this has been a ongoing statement that somebody every single time is going to get into our comments and say, well, they don't like us anywhere, so why should we leave?
Right.
And and so we've got to ask you several questions. One is racism lethal around the planet? That's the first thing, right? And then the second thing is, guys, do you feel like getting rounded up and put in a detention camp? Because there are not enough undocumented folks for all of the detention camps that they're trying to build.
That they're
And
building.
his whole thing was that we're going to do mass deportations. Well, if you're deporting people, why do you need to build these detention camps? It's sounding like the same stuff that happened before or during World War II when they were rounding up all of the Italians and they were rounding up all of the Japanese and putting them in camps and taking away all their stuff. Right?
I think it's for those people who keep saying things like that, even friends and family, because I have those who, it's business as usual. I think they are kind of like living in a bubble. It's kind of like with COVID. If it hasn't touched you or happened to you, they think, oh, it'll be all right. Or if it hasn't happened to them, then it'll be fine. I get a lot, especially when people know how I am with my faith. I lean very heavily on that, and so they'll say, God will provide, and I'll be like, well, sure, I get that, but I know that He also, I'm not saying that He won't provide, but I also feel like, that we don't just sit here and not do our part. We don't just sit here, right? Like a wise man said, you can't expect God to do everything. So, even though I know everything happens for a reason, that, He has everything preordained, that doesn't mean we just sit here and just watch it happen and not do anything, so.
And it's like, why would you? Okay, so if God will provide, that's fine, but that doesn't mean he's going to provide beyond survival when you've decided to stay in hell,
Exactly.
and what kind of life is that? And I remember the parable I think this is a parable from the Bible. Maybe it's not, but it's that everybody's heard of the man who's just praying. He's like in a boat that's lost at sea, and is going under or whatever, and he's praying for God to save
To
him,
come, yeah, save him.
and God sends all of these
Said I sent an
avenues,
airplane and
right, and everything else, and he's like, I done said 3 ways to save you, and you still sitting there praying. So like maybe this video right here is one of the ways that God wants to save you.
Mhm.
Maybe this is the provision, one of the provisions.
I truly believe
Exactly.
that. I
Just a
truly
thought.
Definitely.
saw in my path for me to plan, get my butt on the move. You
Right.
gave an example by what you're doing, how ask you questions. You wind up giving me the advice I need, and I'm doing what I can to get the funds up and plan my plan on getting rid of everything like I'm still doing. And it put a fire under me once I started listening regularly and participating. So it isn't me just sitting back and saying, oh, well, I can't do nothing.
Right.
right.
What is one person be able to do? One person,
Right.
like
I've heard that a lot.
one person can create the network to get people into freedom, y'all. Right? Like I know that Harriet Tubman did not do it alone, but she did do it alone. But she didn't do it
Right.
alone. She had help,
Mm.
but she cultivated that help. She cultivated that support system.
Right.
It just takes one person,
Right.
and you're gonna get help, right? All right. Well, this is a short, so we're not gonna belabor the point. But so let's get to some action. All right. We're not gonna stand around and be just sitting around in fear. All right. So why anger is actually rational, right? This is the part people don't want to say out loud. You should be angry. Yeah, the Republicans didn't want Jasmine Crockett to win. I
Right.
think a lot of Republicans voted for Tallarico in the primary.
Mhm.
I've heard that a lot. That
I right.
that
I
they
think that was
probably supported him
right.
financially so that he
Well,
was
they did because Adelson gave him money, right? Adelson. So they're up to shenanigans. You should be angry. But anger is not the problem. Anger is information, y'all. It tells you something is wrong. Okay.
right.
So the danger is not anger. The danger is apathy,
Right.
because apathy is what allows systems to continue. Right.
Mhm.
Right. Apathy is what allows systems to continue. So we have a simple action plan. This is not panic. This is motion. This is what we were supposed to cover last
Last
Sunday,
Sunday.
but we went long. All right. So if you're feeling stuck and between staying and leaving, here's your 7-day short list sprint. All right. Take your pen and paper out. 7-day short list sprint. Okay. You're not moving necessarily. You're just getting information, you guys. Just getting information.
So day one, pick two regions.
That's
Two
right.
regions. Europe and Latin America, Africa, or Southeast Asia.
That's right. Day 2, pick 5 countries. Once you've got your regions, pick 5 countries, and no more than 5, y'all. No
Mm-mm.
more than 5. Day 3.
Day three, cost check. Look at rent, healthcare, food, and transportation.
All right. And you can do that by going to the databases that we have listed in the free Ready to Retire Toolkit, which is in the description below. Okay. You can get the databases to they'll give you they'll give you rent, they'll give you food and transportation, they'll give you some ideas about healthcare. So you can at least get around an average figure. All right. Day 4, visa reality check. What are the requirements? Are you getting a retirement visa? Are you getting a digital nomad type of visa? What are the residency options for the countries that you're looking at? Okay. So just to repeat, we're going to get to day 7, but just to repeat, day 1, you're going to pick 2 regions. Day 2, you're going to pick 5 countries in those 2 regions. Day 3, you're going to look at the costs. Day 4, you're going to look at the visa requirements. All right. And how long does it take to get those visas? Because, honey, here in Portugal, you got to have patience on top of patience
Yeah,
on
you
top of
do.
patience. And I'm going to reiterate, we've been to a lot of places. Y'all know that. And there's still no other place that we would rather live
Right.
than Portugal. But you got to really want it. All right. So
Yeah.
day 5.
Day 5 is safety and healthcare, not country level, city level,
Maybe even.
neighborhood level.
Okay. Day 6, you're going to do a community check. Let me read you guys right quick. Day 6, you're going to do a community check. This is huge, y'all.
Huge.
This is huge. Seriously, this is going to make it easier unless you're going to bop around. And even if you're going to bop around, right, you still want to do a community check so that when you land, you have a softer landing. Okay. So look for Black expat groups. Look on Facebook, look on LinkedIn, look for meetups. All right. WhatsApp communities. All right. We have like 5 to 6 or 7 expat WhatsApp communities here. This is not even counting what's going on Facebook.
Right.
All right. And it is very, very helpful.
Very important.
All right. Day 7.
Narrow to 2 countries.
Narrow your 5 countries down to 2.
Down to 2. And start planning a scouting trip, not a vacation, a research trip.
All right. And we have a free scouting trip checklist in the description below. Okay. So you're going to get the Ready to Retire Toolkit. You're going to get the scouting trip checklist. And if you're serious, go ahead and get that Move Abroad Toolkit. Okay. All right. We're going to bring Antonia and Ailey in. So that's the 7-day sprint. That's your challenge. You're not necessarily committing to move right now,
No.
but you're committing to having the information. Having the information. Okay. This is just like having your go bag just in case, because this fool is crazy.
Yeah. It's your prep work.
Exactly.
It's your prep work.
Is there anything that we didn't think of, Antonia and Ailey?
Trying to think.
Things that you might have done.
Yeah, things that you guys might have done already.
Well, one of the things I would need to is to, because of working still, I would definitely need to check it, wherever I go. I'd have to go for I'd have to have their internet connection. Basically, that'll be a thing. That's
okay.
a big thing, because you can move into a far off area and find that you can't still work, and you got to be able to provide for yourself overseas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
right.
Definitely.
And we kind of found out, and especially in places that we have been, that internet is a good thing. And a lot of times, different places you go, it's free in the cafes and stuff like that. So
only America's got the internet
they
on
want to
lockdown.
charge you crazy.
I'm serious. Like here in Portugal, and we found this to be the case in a lot of places that we've traveled to. You go to any cafe and you're just like, "Do you have Wi-Fi?" They say, "Yeah, here's the password."
Most time there's a sign up there or something like that to give you the password.
Here's the password. No problem. You know.
Well, one thing is, I'm plugged in with Ethernet because of, you've seen my setup.
Right. Yes.
And I'm plugged in. So mainly for me, it would be, I need to have it plugged in because I'm going to have a minimum of 2 screens.
Right. And so, let's take that out broader and say, check out the infrastructure of the cities that you're talking about and make sure that it has the infrastructure to support your lifestyle. That the internet in general is fast enough, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, we have found that the internet is just as good, if not better, than it is in the United States and just about every single place that we've traveled to. As a matter of fact, every single place that we've traveled to. Now, whether they have a plug-in system, that's going to be Airbnb to Airbnb,
Right.
or apartment to apartment. Like here, the whole house is wired. So we're wired in right now.
Okay.
Every bedroom, every
Yeah,
room,
every room has
except for the bathroom.
except for the bathroom. Everyone
But
has a
even the
plug in
kitchen,
it.
even the kitchen has an Ethernet plug, probably for a television or something like that, right? So
Nice. I
yeah,
would that. I would love that.
right. All right, we're gonna start wrapping it up. Antonia, is there any last thing you wanna give people, or anything that you thought of that we should have added to that list? So infrastructure, that's very good. So check out the infrastructure. What else?
Um, I'm sorry, I was busy writing, but I'm not sure if you mentioned anything about travel insurance and copies of important documents.
That's good. That's good. Start making digital
Digital
copies
copies. Yeah.
and paper copies of all of your important documents. That's a really good one. And start pricing out travel insurance, because I'm going to tell you, uh, it does not cost the same amount no matter where you go. Okay. It has to do with how much the healthcare system costs where you're going. So getting travel health insurance for the United States, for instance, is out of control. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Everywhere else, at most other places, it's a lot more reasonable, and sometimes just really, 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 really affordable. So yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. So that is our list for your 7-day sprint, y'all. That is our list. And so the trivia question was, wait, the question is, do you have options? Because options are power. Yes. Yeah. That's the thing. If the fit hits the sham, if it gets as bad as we anticipate it getting, because it, like what's going on right now, we anticipated this. I'm not sure I thought it was going to happen that fast.
I don't think
And
anybody thought it was
I'm
going to happen
still
that
just
fast.
like flabbergasted over the capitulations,
Oh, yeah.
right? I mean, it is just absolutely ridiculous. So you need to ask yourself, do you have options? Because options are power, all right? And power is safety. So back to the trivia question. What percentage of the world's population, of the world's Black population, lives outside of the United States? The answer is C, 90%. 90% of people who look like us live outside of the United States. All right. So the center
It's
is not
amazing.
the United, right? The United States is not the center of Black life. It never has been and never will
Amazing.
be. It is the center of pop culture because we create all pop culture for the whole planet. That's Black Americans.
Right.
So everybody admits to that, but it's not the center of Black life. All right. So you do not have to stay stuck in that
No,
godforsaken place.
no, you don't.
So thank you, A. Lee, and thank you,
Thank you
Antonia,
guys for
legends,
joining us.
for joining us. We love you all. We love you. We will see you on Sunday. That is it. If you need help putting your stuff together, if you need help coming up with a plan, we offer one-on-one coaching. That information is in the description below. If you need help getting your money straight, join Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program for late bloomers, just like ourselves. And if you get in now, you will get all of the updates at the current price. Okay. So don't wait. If money is the thing, you do not want to wait. Our side hustle cohort is going on right now. The next one will be in the summertime. And in between there, we have got the meetup of the century. I'm really, really happy about what's going on. All right. Tickets are kind of on sale, but kind of not. All right. So hold off because we're adding some things. So the main events are Monday and Tuesday, June 15th and 16th. All right. We're having a um, uh, chef tasting experience with wine pairing on Monday. And then on Tuesday, we have an all day cultural tour. We're going up to the Silver Coast, to Nazare, having lunch at the Buddha Garden with another wine tasting. And then we're going to the medieval town of Obidos. In between all of that, we are bringing back the river tour. Okay, so we're doing a boat tour of the Rio Tejo.
The Tejo.
Yes, you guys call it the Tagus River. Okay. We are also we're selling them to Legends first, and then we will open it up to the rest of the folks on Juneteenth. We are doing rum and tickles again, and Kelvin is a chef, and he will be cooking a special dinner just for us. It's family style, very, very limited seating. And we're talking about oxtails and rice and peas, the whole 9 yards, baby. And we have some vegetarian options for everything. We also are doing the African Lisbon tour together. Okay, so those tickets will be on sale as well. So a lot of lovely things coming up for our summer meetup. Y'all gotta come.
Come on now and hang out.
Right?
Hang out with us.
Come hang out. You don't have to be somebody who's looking to move to Portugal. Okay.
Yeah.
Come to our meetup and meet a bunch of other like-minded people. As we said, we put everybody who's coming to the meetup in a WhatsApp group. And the 2025 WhatsApp people are still chitty-chatting.
Yeah.
They are still sharing information.
Come and hang out with us. Come and meet some of the local people. People who are just like you.
Exactly. We're gonna invite some of our friends to the events. We're gonna do a Friday sangria. We're going to Rick and I and some other folks, we are going to show you all the street festivals for St. Anthony's. That's going to go on the Friday beforehand. So that's 14th, 13th, 12th. I think it's the 12th is that Friday. All right. So we've got every day for a whole week, we've got activities planned. Some are free, some are not. But the two main events are the 15th and the 16th. And with that, we're going to see you on Sunday. We love y'all. Take care.